One of the things I learned in politics at the highest level is that it's not a nice thing to say, but it's a true thing to say. It's about power, right? And if you don't carry something to the table, the giants tend to sit on everyone else. It's just what giants do. So you don't want them to sit on you. You've got to be big enough so that they can't.
One of the things I learned in politics at the higher level is about power. It is not about negotiations. It's got nothing to do with diplomatics and stuff like that. It is about power. That is the former Prime Minister of Great Britain, Tony Blair. I want us to go and listen to what he is saying here, come back and talk about it, because everything that he's saying here is exactly what we have been calling on here in One Africa Mission, uniting our continent. Today, Europe is calling for unity because they can foresee the future. They will be kicked out of the game if they don't unite. Let's go and listen to him, what he's saying, come back and talk about it, because everything that he is revealing here, we the citizens of Africa must push our leaders to unite the continent of Africa for us. And that is what we are here to do, One Africa Mission. Our mission is about the unity of our continent and our collective dignity as a race. We believe that without unity, without power, Africa will never be taken serious. So please support our mission. How do you support us? As I keep calling on you, subscribe to our YouTube channel as we call on you. Try to follow us on Facebook, on TikTok. TikTok told us that we have only 1 subscriber. Please help us. Let's carry this mission together, because we must unite the continent of Africa if we want to be taken serious. Let's listen to what Tony Blair is saying here. Come back and then you will tell me if we should not force our leaders to unite our continent. Let's go listen to him.
For Europe, if we take a step back for a moment, and in recent times, I think Britain and Europe have, almost by force of events, been cooperating more together in these last weeks than probably, in the last year. Right? Now, what is important is that if you take a step back and you look at the way the world's changing, it's very, very clear that by the middle of this century, you are going to have 3 superpowers, I would say. 2 for sure, probably 3. America, China, and probably India. The question for Europe is not complicated. It's very simple. Can we get our act together sufficiently to sit at that table on equal terms? Because we can't sit at that table on equal terms. The 3 giants are going to do what they want without us. So when you take a step back and you say, well, then what matters to be able to be at that table? What matters is that you've got an economy that's strong enough, and it's got to be strong enough in the technology sector, because that's going to be one of the big determinants of success in the future. That's why the Chinese are putting so much effort into it, leave aside America. And you're going to have military capability, right? And you're going to have the political cohesion to be able to carry the positions you want. So this is why I think when you take a step back and you look at it, politics, when it's about delivery and implementation, it's about the clarity of your plan, and it's about making sure that you're not talking in this direction, but acting in that direction, that the 2 are actually aligned together. And it's very easy in government. I know this because I made this mistake many times myself. You launch the ambition here, but the policy's over there. So that's, I think, the absolutely critical challenge if we want to be powerful enough in an era where otherwise these giants are going to dominate. And, one of the things I learned in politics at the highest level is that it's not a nice thing to say, but it's a true thing to say. It's about power, right? And if you don't carry something to the table, the giants tend to sit on everyone else. It's just what giants do. So you don't want them to sit on you. You've got to be big enough so that they can't.
Yes. So is there anything that, like he is saying here, not what we have been calling on? We've been calling on our leaders, the Kwame Nkrumah, the founding fathers of our continent. They saw the need for them to unite because they could envision what unity can give us. or the lack of unity, what it will do to us. And then we can see the result, the lack of unity. Look at how we've been treated. And Tony Blair is saying that Europe would all have colonial past. If they don't unite the continent of Europe, then he mentioned 3 countries, superpowers, China, America, and the likelihood India. They will be the giants. Why is he not mentioning the African continent? Because they know their ancestors went to Berlin and divided Africa, and we are still holding on to that. So as long as we keep holding on to the Berlin petitioning of our continent, we will never be taken serious. We will never be part of the game. So if we know the effect of the Berlin, that Berlin conference, then me and you have to unite, fight to unite our continent. He talked about military power. Imagine what we are gathering is that Sub-Saharan Africa alone, if we are able to unite our Sub-Saharan Africa alone, we will have about 6 to 7 million military personnel. That would be the biggest and largest military power in the world. So we have what it takes to be serious, to be part of the game, to be an important player in the game if we can unite the continent of Africa. What is stopping our leaders? Why can't we just learn? Are they not listening to people like this? Because these are the people who run the world. Today, the world geopolitics is shifting. And then Tony Blair is asking European leaders to act as fast as they can. We are still talking about Agenda 2060. Before Agenda 2060 will come, what will the world politics be like? Are we ready for the future? Are we ready? As I said, Tony Blair have said it all. I have no much to say than to call on the youth of Africa to governize ourselves and then demand a united Africa. If only we want a dignified Africa for the next generation of Africans. Tony Blair have said it all. Tony Blair is not part of One African Mission. But what he is saying here, we have been saying it. We have been sacrificing for this. So please, if you want to see a dignified Africa, if you want Africa to be part of the game, if you want Africa to be an important player in the game, if we want Africa to be respected, then please support our mission or join our mission. Let us bring our energies together and fight to unite our continent. Because as we keep saying here, without unity, I am telling you, we will never be taken serious. Look, he has mentioned China, he mentioned India and America. Why is he mentioning these countries? Because China is a giant. India, the population is giant. Africa, 1.8 billion people, because as I keep saying, forget about them telling you that we are 1.4, 1.5 billion. 1.8 billion to 2 billion people. If we can unite our continent, is there any country that can stand a united Africa? No. But they will never take us serious. How come he didn't mention Africa? Because they divided Africa to keep Africa at the bottom of the human race. So they don't take us serious. So when they are talking about the future, they don't even mention our continent. Why? Because of our division. Let us put aside our so-called differences and unite our continent. Unity is power. That is why the Americans had to fight a civil war and force themselves to unite. Today they bully everybody. If we as children of Africa really want to be taken serious, then we must fight to unite the continent of Africa. Thank you very much for coming around. Please, if you want a dignified Africa, then support us. Let us come together and fight to unite Africa. How do you support us? It's by sharing what we are doing. It takes a sacrifice to do what we are doing. So if you are watching it, don't just watch. Pass your comments, like it. Like it. Sometimes we have 10 people, 15 people who will watch our video without liking. Please just like it. It doesn't take anything away. Like it, try to share it. Let us keep this awareness of a united Africa so that future generations, if we unite Africa, can also live a life of dignity. I thank you very much. You can support us by whatever means you think if you can support us, because a lot of people are asking, how do we support? When we try to contact them, they are nowhere to be found. If you really want to support us, you can contact us. We intend to embark on another mission tour to preach the gospel of a united Africa to our citizens. Let the message, let the awareness sink to the African citizens. Then we can all together push our leaders to give us a united, dignified Africa. Thank you very much.
We must unite now. We must have one army. We must have one currency. We must have one foreign policy. We must be united.